Yo, welcome to the season 2 of the South Pod. We got a lot to cover today. We got the usual suspects with me. I got my boys. I got Telly. I got Big Will, and I got Big Rich with me. A lot has happened in the off season. We had the draft, we had free agency signing, and then they had mini camp, and now we in the training camp, rolling into preseason. And we had a lot of pieces added to all the teams, and everybody's a contender right now. So you know how that goes. It's going to be a lot of talking, confidence in the teams that we discussing today. But we're going to focus on the NFC South and them Niners because we got my boy Big Will with me. And we're going to dive straight into the rosters. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
I'm good, man. I can't
Good,
complain,
good.
man. How are you guys doing?
Hey,
Straight up,
no motion
straight up.
over here, man. Just getting ready. Just getting ready. Hey, we had a lot of key pieces added to each team, man. So let's talk about it. Tell it, how you feeling about the roster?
I mean, I'm feeling all right. For many years, I think most Falcons fans have been looking for us to get, um, some help on defense in the draft. Grow some of our own talent. So I like the aggressive moves this past draft. We're picking up some nice players. Obviously, we got Walker, we got Pearson. I think his last name. And what was that boy name? Picked up Kobe Bryant off the undrafted free agency list. Obviously got the young fella out of Notre Dame in the backfield there. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but and then as a CBDB type, and then got some couple pieces that are probably hidden pieces, and then I want to see what Brendan Trice is going to bring to the table. We talked about him. He got injured last year. He was a guy picked from Washington last year, but we got a little. We got some young talent, man. I don't expect them to, be the best in the defense in the NFL, but with a young offensive talent group, and now starting to throw some young offensive pieces on, defensive pieces in the mix. I like where the team is heading to. So for me, I'm good. I'm not looking for, all the good and glamour this year, but I am excited about the future.
Yeah, y'all went defensive heavy like a lot of teams in our division. With the exception of the Panthers. They went everywhere in the draft. So had some pretty decent pickups. Speaking of the Panthers, Rich, how you feeling?
I feel good, man. I'm very optimistic about this roster, and I just want to remind everybody about the great draft that we did have to put us in this position. But I think some of the key additions that we got, man, to include Hunter Renfro and looking at that wide receiver core, man, I think that we're finally putting the right pieces behind Bryce to be able to get out there and actually do some things on the offensive side of the ball. And having Brown come back as a big defensive tackle and adding some more pieces to that defensive actually front. I think we're looking pretty good, man. So I'm very optimistic about the season, and I can't wait till to get started, man.
Hey, speaking of adding pieces and rosters is the key for this discussion right now. The 49ers, man, they were just dumping their whole roster in the all season. We just knew that they were going into purgatory because they was getting rid of everybody. They were all sales final. They was getting rid of everybody. But they kind of like reloaded and quietly brought some people back, some key pieces, as far as the Niners quest to go for another ring is concerned. Will, how you feeling?
Man, I feel good, man. I think a lot of people look at the names and not necessarily when you were casual, you don't know the situation. I think you look at Buddy coming off a torn Achilles. I mean, I don't care, what level you play it and how you play it. I mean, it's hard to really come back from that injury. I feel like the 49ers offered him a fair deal, and he felt like he got a better deal from Denver, so he went over there. And the same with Talanoa Hufanga. I mean, he's only played one healthy year for us, so he's been like serious years when he was there. So again, they one was all pro, one was, Debo to me, his better years are behind him. I didn't think he was going to ever regain like his 2021, 2022 form. So I think those are the big name guys that a lot of people looked at, and then they looked at some of our starting line. I mean, they weren't our better linemen. I mean, our backup tackle Jalen Moore got
a 23 per like a $20 million per year deal from Kansas City, and I mean the man only played a total of 6 games. So, I mean, again, you look at the names, and I think a lot of times people made a big deal out of it. But I think we had a great draft. We drafted the players we needed to. I think my only concern would be I think we're a little thin at wide receiver than I would like. But I mean, for the most part, I think it's just going to be a lot of optimism with what we have to work with. But I really do trust the offensive coaching staff that they're going to get the best out of the guys we got.
So you're telling me there's a chance. That means we actually can
Oh
compete with the
yeah,
49ers this year.
I,
I love it.
yeah. I think the biggest addition was Robert Saleh. I think that's the one that people aren't talking about. I think Robert Saleh coming back with the experience he had as a head coach, just listening to the players talk about him is just a whole different field. And I think that was a good thing for us. And I think Robert Saleh was the biggest offseason addition for us.
Yeah, definitely. Robert Saleh is a key piece to bringing that defense back to form. And speaking of defense, Tampa, we really loaded up on defense in the draft and in free agency with the signing of Hassan Reddick, because we weren't getting pressure on the quarterback. And let's face it, that secondary, if you add up all the injuries and the inability to cover, we desperately needed, some help in the secondary. So we signed Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. We signed Parrish. He's going to be a sneaky slot corner from Kansas. And we got a couple of DNs that we moving into D tackle. But Elijah Walker, he got hurt towards ACL, so he's out for the season. We were expecting big things from this rookie, but the corners, all we've been hearing in the camp is we got some sticky corners. And I kept trying to figure out what they meant. I know what sticky mean, but I wanted to see it for myself. So when I attended the practice, we got some sticky corners and some sticky safety, but we got a lot of depth. So in addition to the rookie signings, we bringing back Bryce Hall. He tore his ankle last year, so he signed back with us, and he's looking great in camp. Shiloh is actually looking pretty decent in camp. He had a couple of good plays during the Thursday night practice. Our offense is what it is, top 5 offense, but I'm kind of skeptical on how this is going to actually play out because y'all know we signed Emeka Ibuka, and everybody did not see that coming. But now, as I pay attention to the camp, Godwin is going to be out for about. They say he's progressing to try to be back for week 1. He's not coming back week 1. He ain't practiced the whole time at all. He has not practiced. The good thing about that is Emeka has been a stud in practice. They all talking about him. They raving about him. And we got a sleeper in Tez Johnson. He's going to make the roster. We're pretty deep at receiver. We got like 7 solid receivers. And the good thing about it is when Mike and Godwin got hurt last year, those boys got playing time. So we got quality depth at the receiver position. And we signed Teddy Two Gloves. Me and my boy was talking about it the other day before we signed Teddy. And we were like, man, the offense is what it is. It's going to be potent. We stacked at every position. We need a backup quarterback. Trash been the backup for about 4 years and has never seen the field. He's thrown 11 passes. So I'm like, if Baker goes down, we screwed. But luckily they brought in Teddy Two Gloves. He just need to come in and sustain because with all those weapons we got running around, it's going to be a shootout in every game. But I think the defense this year is going to surprise a lot of people because they're going to carry us the first couple of games until all our starters get healthy. Because Wirfs is out at tackle. They had a bot surgery, whatever. They had to go back in and repair some stuff. So I don't see Godwin and Wirfs being back around week 5. And that's crucial for us. So while they're out, we're going to have to find out who the team really is. And speaking of who the team's identity is, Rich, what's the identity going to be for the Panthers?
Right now, man, that's actually to be determined, man. I think everything has to actually be centered around Bryce Young. And actually looking at him, man, right now, and training camp, he looks pretty good, man. He's locked in with those receivers in particular, Jimmy Horn Jr., Xavier Legette, and T Mac. So we have to focus on developing Bryce Young, man. We put all the weapons around him, man. So that's who we actually going to actually build upon, man. So right now, I think it's still to be determined, but I think we have the right pieces, man, to the puzzle to pit there to go out there and be able to compete. in the NFC South. And like I told you guys, last season, uh, Panthers will rise again, like the Falcons. Unfortunately, will not, and we're going to win this division. So we're looking good, bro.
I gotta see everybody's face. Say that again. Please say that. What was the last sentence?
The Carolina Panthers will win the NFC South.
When?
Write this down. Write that down.
When? Wow. Talk about identity crisis. What you think, Telly?
This is the preseason. I mean, I thought our other friend that's over there, that's a Steelers fan, that be hallucinating in preseason, but we got one on this side that is doing the same thing. He's hallucinating already, man. And I mean, I'm gonna give you credit. Y'all drafted well. I'll say that y'all drafted well, but I think you have some overarching issues that they're not talking about. I would say what you got better at potentially was on defense, but still maybe you need some improvements there. Your wide receiver core is okay. Xavier Legette still ain't a wide receiver to me. He's got all the physical attributes you want to have in a wide receiver, but the dude can't catch. So until he showed me that, then and he's supposed to be your top guy, then yeah, I mean you're picking up Hunter Renfro. Much respect. But he was cut for a reason, so we'll see what that is.
Oh no!
So yeah, I mean, y'all got better. You can be better than the Saints, but I don't.
So what other issues that glaring issues that you think that we need to address?
I don't think your offensive line got increasingly better yet.
Okay.
My opinion. And,
That's
that,
fair.
and when you got a short quarterback like you have, he still got to get over his happy feet syndrome. Now he got better at the end of the season. His reads and getting the ball in his hands quicker. He had a little pressure on him, obviously, because Carrot Top was in there playing, so that man thought his life was over. So he came back at the end of the season fighting to stay relevant, and I see that. But Bryce he got a lot of pressure on him this year because he gonna have to show improve this year because I think next year is his third year, fourth year.
Fourth.
So we started talking about money at that point. Is he worth the money? I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree, Telly, but I'm gonna go a different route. The defense. I didn't hear any key acquisitions on defense for Carolina, so that leads me to believe that you guys think y'all are gonna be putting up a lot of points in the league. It was Bryce that had a good end of the season. He performed real good. So building off that momentum, he's gonna need the ball. So if I didn't see any defensive pieces. Am I wrong?
They had injuries last year, so
yeah, we had injuries.
That's the one thing.
We had injuries. So the big key piece that's coming back is Brown. Derek Brown, the big defensive tackle, and we added some more pieces with the draft, and those boys are actually looking good. The only one that's probably still competing, that still would make the roster is Prince. But Nick Scouton, and I know Telly talked about him a little bit when we actually did the pre-draft. He's showing out right now in camp. So our cornerbacks, they're pretty locked in. Ransom, from Ohio State, is actually looking pretty good to be actually a backup. So the defense is actually looking pretty solid, man. So that's another reason they give me optimism. I would agree with Telly. I think like we probably should have did a little bit more to shore up the offensive line, but overall as a team right now, even though it's all on paper, we look pretty solid, man. So I think all Panthers should be optimistic to know that we will win more than 5 games this season. And like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it, we will win the NFC South.
You starting to sound like Ocho. You starting to sound like Ocho because he heavily invested in your receiving core that can't catch. They can run routes though, but they can't catch.
I don't
Atlanta,
know.
on the other hand,
I mean, Telly said,
Atlanta,
Xavier
yeah,
Legette can't catch, but I don't. I mean,
we'll
we'll
see.
see.
We shall see. I mean, speaking of,
Actually, not to cut you off. That's interesting that Telly said that though, because I was gonna actually mention this to you guys. I'm watching how Drake London is a fanboy of Bijan Robinson and his plays on the field and stuff, and he's more concerned with actually thinking of football as a basketball. He's gonna lead the league in drop receptions this year. Drake London. That's another one. Write that down too, Telly.
we just getting bold.
Oh
Speaking
yes, sir.
of Drake London, I saw he said y'all gonna be the best offense in the league this year. So is that the identity for the Atlanta Falcons rolling in, Tilly? Your mic's muted, bro.
He did that purposely.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know about him being the best. I mean, us to have the best offense in the league. I think we did well last year. I think we'll do pretty decent, this year. It all depends on chemistry between Penix and I think Kyle Pitts is key. Is a key in this offense yet again this year. If he can kind of get himself together, he don't have to have. If he have, semblance of the beginning. I mean, his first year, his rookie year, when Matt Ryan was there. If he have a little bit of that season, man, then that helps us out a lot because I think we got a solid backfield, running backfield. I think the wide receiver core is pretty decent. We got some depth, a little bit of depth. I would think we need like at least 1 or 2 more wide receivers, but I think we have a good group of guys coming back this year. We added DJ Chark, so he can stretch the field a little bit while Mooney is recovering. So yeah, offensive wise, I think we got all the weapons that we're good, but I don't know about the second year offensive play caller, how that's going to work out. Usually second year gets better, but we'll see. So I wouldn't say the best in the league, but I think we'll be close to what it was last year. My numbers said if Bijan pushes his time up, pushes his running up to about, he'll have to be a 2,000-yard rusher. I think that's too much on him. Ooh. But if he can get another 400 yards out of him, he had 14, 56, 14, something like that last year. If we can get him another couple hundred yards, and then have consistency with Drake and Mooney as 1,000-yard receivers, and I think the offense will be doing pretty well. So that's my opinion.
And man, I know you're on the outside looking in from the NFC South. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think Atlanta. I mean, you look at the coach. I mean, Atlanta is going to be what they're going to be, a defensive-oriented team. I think they understand having a young quarterback that's really having his first full year. Like any team with a young quarterback, you want to put a strong defense behind them and not ask them to do too much and kind of lean on the run. Bijan Robinson is a phenomenal player. I think he is going to have to be a 2,000-yard all-purpose type guy. Not necessarily rushing, but I think he's going to have to be a 1,400-yard guy on the ground and like receiver type guy. He's going to definitely have to be an all-purpose guy. The offense is going to have to flow through him. In order for them to be successful, and especially in that system, because they run a West Coast system over there, but they're going to have to be a defensive-oriented team. And so for them to be successful, that's why they went pass rush heavy in the draft, and they're trying to show up, put themselves in better field position, so they're not playing from behind so much. So they're trying to balance things out, but I think they want to be, and if they can do that, they're going to be pretty good. If they can be somewhere in the top 15 in terms of defense, they're going to definitely be a playoff football team.
Speaking of West Coast offenses, what's up with them Niners? What are we going to see this year?
I mean, just getting back to defense, I think that's where it starts for us. I mean, our first 4 or 5 draft picks were all defensive players, and I think last year we were 29th against the run, which we hadn't been that. I mean, we had always been a top 5 run defense. We couldn't stop anything last year. So I think going to get the big defensive tackles like we did, and getting Michael Williams, who can slide into the 3 on passing downs, and then we got Bryce Huff, who's more of a speed rusher on pass downs. And if we could get back to doing that, kind of like what we did, we had D Ford. I think we're going to be really, really good. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, especially if the rookies don't grow up real fast. There's going to be some growing pains, but ultimately, I think with Salah's experience and we have one of the better D-line coaches in the league. Listening to the guys talking camp, they understand they're going to have to grow up real fast. So it's asking a lot, but I think we got to get back to playing defense. And so I think a lot of times last year, watching Brock Purdy, they was really pressing. He was pressing down the field, trying to overcome injuries. It was hard having Trent Williams out and Christian McCaffrey, and even still, what a lot of people don't know, we were top 10 offense. Even regardless of the injuries, regardless of the Trent games he had, and Christian McCaffrey being out, they still were top 10 offense in the league. So I think special teams and defense is going to be everything for us.
That's why you guys signed Chosen, right?
No, he's a camp body. No, I think we got some some soft tissue injuries in camp, some hamstrings, some ankles and stuff, and just listen to Cal talk about it. It's important to have enough to push some guys. I don't think Chosen's gonna make the final roster. Anything. I think while a couple of our guys are working back, guys like Jennings, he's working through a calf, and you got Pearsall, he's in there, but you just got some injuries, and so is isn't back yet, but he's doing work. I think by the time we play Tampa, I think it might be a situation where you're going to be looking at both Godwin and Ayuk coming back around that game.
Yeah, definitely. So it should be a shootout. That's exactly what I'm expecting. But with the key pieces that we've added to each team, I'm gonna ask y'all one question. If you can add, do you need to add anything else to your roster in order to be a contender? Kelly, what would it be?
I said earlier, I think it's the wide receiver. We need that. I'm not too solid on our kicker either. I'm not sure what happened to last year. Kind of put off the start for us. So I think those two people need a solid kicker. We need to have our confidence in our kicker. So we had some close games that we could have won with some better kicks from him. And earlier in his career was almost cash for him. So I'm not sure what happened last year, but definitely I think we need one more wide receiver and we need a kicker. That's what we saw.
Young Hoku ain't getting it done no more.
I like the guy's strong leg, whatever, but I'm not sure if it's I think it's a mental thing. It's like sometimes with quarterbacks, you go out there, middle of the island, and you're yanking stuff left and right, man. It don't go well. So we brought a guy in that I'm not high on, so not really feeling the love right there.
Man, we ain't even started the season yet, man. You already giving the man the boot. No pun intended. Rich,
Yeah,
Panthers.
last year.
What could y'all add, Rich? I'm done with the Falcons.
Man, I think Telly brought up a good point earlier about the offensive line, and I mean when you look at who's still out there, you got Brandon Scherf, I believe, from Jacksonville, played with Jacksonville, is still actually on the market. But also one of the players I thought about too, man. Like I mean, and it would be taking a chance if you get him, but to kind of shore up that defensive tackle line and have a rotational between him and Brown is old freaky deaky Christian Wilkins. But we got to make sure, man, we talk to Christian like, hey, don't be going there kissing players and touching on players and stuff like that, man. Respect people's boundaries. But I think those two pieces, man, could definitely help us out, bro.
I agree, man. But for Tampa, for me, the key piece that we can add is what the hell we got. Goddamn Godwin and Worth ain't gonna start the season. They're not gonna start the season. And they keep feeding this, Godwin may be ready for week 1. My thing is, we got so much depth. Let him heal all the way. Don't need him. Let him heal. I wish we had Worth, man, because that week 1 against Atlanta is crucial. We enter the season in playoff mode. But I'm gonna throw another name out there that y'all don't even know. Well, you know it when I say it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. Watson. The big boy from Florida, the 400-pounder. He's on he's not even practicing. They got him on weight control.
Yeah.
We all know what weight control is. They got him on BCP. This fool in practice walking around with a weighted vest on.
Yeah.
Bad. They got him on BCP, and I get it because it's hot here. It's hot, real hot, and it's a health thing, whatever. They want him to get to a certain weight, and Jason Lightman, like, yeah. When he talks about it, he like the guy ain't doing what he's supposed to do. So more than likely, Watson might get cut, and I really don't want that to happen because he's supposed to be our tush push stopper to help Vita. when we play Philly, and stuff to run or whatever. That's the only reason they signed this guy to possibly be Vita's replacement because Vita getting up there, even though Vita's still in his prime, but Vita need breaks. Kansas gonna get it done this year, but I just want the players that's in house to be healthy. We don't need anything else if we supposed to be a contender. We don't need nothing else. We got everything we need in house. We don't need no free agents after this. We just need everybody to be healthy and be ready. That's what I think we need.
So
What about
Corey,
them Niners?
oh,
Yeah, go
before
ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Before we get to Will, you don't think you guys need to actually add a little bit more depth to that backfield, that corner? Well, actually, the defensive backfield. You don't think signing a player like Asante Samuel Jr. would actually help?
No,
You
sir.
don't think so?
Listen to me. McCullum's in a contract year. That's our number one corner. We got Izian at slot, and we got Dean, who is being challenged by Morrison from Notre Dame. If Morrison tweaked his hamstring a little bit, but Morrison been running with the ones all camp. I think they're trying to send a message to Dean, let him know, hey, this ain't what it is. We got Bryce Hall coming back at corner. We got depth piece. Tyke Smith to move to safety. Plus, he played the nickel. Also, we got Merriweather, Kavon Merriweather at safety, Bago safety. Shador is like number 3 on the depth chart for safety. We got Antoine Winfield at safety. We got Thunderbird. We got corners. They got experience. They played last year. They were young, but they got thrown in the fire last year, so they got experience. We don't need anybody else. We do not.
So,
We can run with the guys we got.
so I only say that because, with the exception of the Saints, and I don't know what the hell that organization is doing. When you look at, just the wide receiver core, with Atlanta and Carolina, and you got a couple players down there in the Saints. I think, man, that there's opportunities to exploit those cornerbacks in Tampa. And if it was me, I would want to kind of shore that up. But
Oh no!
to be seen. I'm just saying, bro. Well,
Did you hear what I just said?
I heard what you
We
said, but I also
drafted
saw how you
well.
guys played last year in the
Right.
defensive backfield.
I can't talk about last year. All I know is from what I've seen at camp, we got some corners. Bowles is not playing zone this year. We're playing man. That's how much confidence we got in these new guys. They playing man, which means we're gonna be throwing the whole kitchen sink at y'all with, with 50,000 blitzes. We got
Okay,
we got
so
corners. I did not mention the linebackers. We signed an undrafted free agent Bullock out of Nebraska. We got
mhm.
Walker from Miami. Levante's still gonna do his thing. Might be a little step slower. Savasier Dennis is back from in. We have depth. I'm telling you, my linebackers can cover. I love the boy Bullock out of Nebraska. I hope he makes the squad. He's quick. He can cover, and that boy hits you. So
okay,
I can envision him and Levante in the linebacking position. That frees up my corners to play the way they need to play. Winfield gonna be in the box. I'm telling you, Rich, we're good. You'll see.
okay.
You'll
Before
see.
we go to Big Will, one more prediction. Week 2 of the regular
Oh
season, when
hell.
we get back on here, listen, on the banner, it's going to say Fire Todd Bowles.
That's about the only
Hey,
prediction I can agree with right there. It's gonna come.
week 2,
Week
you
2.
might be right because my whole thing is this: like you can hear it around the camp.
It,
They all
it's gonna
talking about week one,
it,
week one. They
it,
got a
it,
sour
it,
taste in their mouth. They got a sour taste in their mouth because Atlanta swept us last year. Even though we won the division, they swept us. But if you the talk around the camp is week 1, and like I said, the defense probably gonna have to carry us the first couple of games because the offense, like everybody, offense looking rusty as hell. They looking rusty. In quite naturally in camp, the defense is gonna be a bright spot because they react and they know the plays, whatever. So we'll see. I got faith in this defense for the first time since we won the Super Bowl in 2020. The secondary, I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about it at all. But we'll see week 1, like you said. If they lose to Atlanta, which is a playoff game to me, even though week 1, you damn right I'm gonna have that banner going on in 5 top holes. It's gonna stay until that defense do what they supposed to do. But I digress. Let's talk about San Francisco. What key pieces would you add there?
A little bit on Tampa. I mean, Todd Bowles is a former 49er himself. But I think if we're talking about Todd Bowles not making it through the year, the defense is going to underperform. And I think if he's fired, it's because the defense isn't playing well. I don't think we're going to learn much week 1 about anybody. I think week 1 is just sometimes off about the off season. I mean, because you can have a complete 360 as the year goes, and I don't think week one's going to tell you anything about anybody. If Atlanta split, that's just to be expected. I mean, you're their division opponent. Both teams have improved, and I think also with Godwin being out and expecting a rookie to immediately step in and get that kind of production. Godwin's a do-it-all receiver. I mean, in week one is not going to tell you much about Tampa. I'm with my Carolina Panther brother though. I think depth in the backfield is everything. And you ask like what would I like my team to add? Just more depth. I don't think there's any particular position. If it was a particular position, I would say at wide receiver. With Brandon Ayuk being out, he's pertinent to like the way we play offense. His ability to block routes, his physicality at the wide receiver point. And if we don't have that, I think it's asking a lot out of young Ricky Pearsall, who haven't had a full season, had a strong second half, definitely cooked Tampa last year, and then Jawan Jennings. I mean, he was about 25 yards from a 1,000-yard season before he got ejected. But I think it's asking a lot of those two guys and that are not yet really proven. I would say wide receiver if anything, but I think just like everybody else, I just want more depth, and I want everybody to come out of camp healthy.
Yeah, sounds good. I hear you. You know, week one is not going to tell you anything, but it's going to tell me a lot because they got one job, bro. You cannot get swept by a team and then come into week one and they end up beating you again. But how it really might play out, I might want them to win week one so they can ride this little high horse like they always do, and then they do what they do. That's what I envision. Since we firing Todd Bowles, that means that we staying with the status quo. That means Atlanta starts off hot, and we know how the season ends. But moving along, any camp surprises and disappointments in Atlanta, Telly?
Not for me. I mean, it's been a lot of buzz and talk around young fella out of Tennessee. The guy wanted, pretty bad in the draft, and I'm glad we got it.
Pierce.
Pierce. He bringing some fire to the team, and I think it's good stuff, man. I think Billy Bowman doing his thing, doing what we thought he was capable of doing. And Kobe Bryant is he was injured slightly. He came back in, I think, this week on Monday, and had an intercept to Kirk Cousins, which we heard that a lot last year. So not super surprised about that. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's not a whole lot going on at this moment. No surprises except for it's just everybody's getting down to business. So I'm looking for the energy, man, to translate to real time. That's all I'm looking for.
Enough about Atlanta. What about Carolina?
Not necessarily any disappointments, man, but a couple bright spots. I think Ransom is playing really well, man. Doing training camp right now, which is actually a plus when we look at the defensive side of the ball. And I think the X factor on the offensive side of the ball, man, and I think it's kind of going under the radar, is Jimmy Horn Jr. So I'm actually looking forward to see how, Dave Canales implement him into that offense and, see what we can actually do by stretching the field, man. And, like I said, presenting Bryce Young with these weapons, I think that we're going to be pretty solid this year, man. So no necessarily disappointments, but just a couple of bright spots that, just kind of want to hone on from what they're doing at training camp thus far.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us to even, if you don't pay attention to your own team, ESPN and everybody else ain't going to tell you what's going on with us little guys, as far as camps and stuff is concerned. What about the Niners?
I'm sorry. I think our biggest surprise are the also two players, and C.J. West out of Indiana and Upton Stout. Upton Stout out of West Kentucky has been one of the, if not been the best player in campus, along with C.J. West, who's one of the better defensive tackles. And I think with Alfred Collins, who we picked in the second round out of Texas, him with that whole second round pick holdout stuff, he missed minicamp. So he's been behind the power curve in regards to like learning the team's, drills and things like that. He's not where he's supposed to be just yet. But right now, I would definitely say a couple of our day 2 picks and CJ West and Upton Stout.
Yeah, I don't have any disappointments in camp or whatever. Dean finally showed up. He got a couple of interceptions this week. Like I said, they've been starting Morrison at the one. I mean, the two at corner. He been running with the ones in place of Dean. Dean, there was a Dean sighting, so I think he getting the message. You know, them boys in front of him are actually performing, so he know it's time. Will he? I surprises. Tez Johnson. I did not know he was that fast. I did not know he was that elusive. But he did go to Oregon, and Oregon recruits track stars. But Tez Johnson, that's gonna be one to watch out for. Like I said, receiver depth is what it is. Corners, they're doing what I expected them to do. Like I said, Dean actually stepping up and actually putting his hands on the ball this year. He got some sense of awareness. So that's what it is for me. But speaking of Dean, you know, he's in position battles with the rest of our corners. Any position battles y'all looking at your team, Kelly?
Yeah, I think Xavier Watts putting a lot of pressure on Alford for that starting position, which we thought would be the case. Um, and also Kobe Bryant is putting pressure to be to move to the third string as well. So those two cornerbacks that we picked up late in the draft, man, they making some noise and trying to get themselves on the field. So that's the battle I see. I'm really interested to understand how they work the edges going into camp. So, I mean, going into this preseason. So I'm really looking forward to that. But the battle is at cornerback right now.
What about Carolina? What position battles intrigue you, Rich?
At the safety position, man. Lathan Ransom was a great pickup for us, man, and he's actually pushing those boys to actually perform better. So he's currently right now, you know, the depth chart was just released for Carolina. He's second string, but he's actually pushing those boys to the test, man. And I think at some point during the season, he's going to be out there on that field. So that's what I'm actually looking forward to, man. Lathan Ransom continuing to doing what he's doing right now in training camp, and continue to pushing those other players to make them actually better, which is a plus for us. But that's the biggest challenge right now and the biggest competitive thing that I see out there from any position from the Carolina Panthers.
Interesting. What about the Niners? Who's competing?
Definitely that backup running back spot behind Christian McCaffrey is definitely up there. We got 2 guys going at that. We got 3 guys. Isaiah Kiner, young kid. We got Jordan James out of Oregon, and Isaac Garendo, who pretty much started for us last year in the absence of him. Obviously, him and Mason kind of rotated, but that's the most interesting battle because I think they want to take a different approach on load management in regards to McCaffrey to ensure that, you know, they can make a more deeper playoff run into the year if that's something that happens for us, and just keeping them healthy in general. And I would say the second battle, we out of 5 games last year we lost by 3 points or less, and they all came down to kicks, and we lost every last one of those games based on kicks. And I think I don't foresee that happening. I mean, if we would have just kicked the ball, you're talking about 10 wins literally. And so we got a kicker battle going on with Greg Joseph, veteran, with our former 3rd-round pick, Jake Moody. So I think that's going to be pretty pertinent on who wins. Really tell us a lot.
Yeah, man. Camp has been pretty interesting. You know, these first 11 days, man. It's been a lot of competitions going on. I love to see it. Like going into week 1, it's going to be a lot of expectations. You know, as far as those depth pieces, those rookies that we all, you know, drafted and signed to the teams or whatever. So it's a lot of expectations for them to see how they put out in week 1. What are your expectations, Kelly, as far as going into that first preseason game? What are you looking for?
Well, one thing I want to do is make a correction to what I just said. Watts is pushing Fuller for the safety position, not cornerback, not DB. So that's wanted to make sure I fix that before, you know, the basement quarterback professionals and NFL scouts from the basement come up and start talking trash. But for me, man, I think for what everybody hopes is just let's see our rookies on the field and see what they look like going against other people fighting for roster spots that might have been in the NFL for a couple of years already, and people who are also drafted by those teams. I want to see them battle it out, man. See what these teams look like. First game we ain't gonna see too much of our actual starters anyway. It's gonna be all about them. So for me, it's just I'm focusing on technique, seeing how they see the field, how they move, how they react to stuff. I'm focusing more on defense than I am the offense. So that's what I'm going to watch. Man. So I'll be at the game Friday in Atlanta in live in person. That's all I'll be focusing on the defense.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be at the game Saturday, and I'm looking at how we fare against Cam Ward. If he plays, get a couple reps in. I want to see our young corners, like everybody's saying that we need depth. I want to see the secondary. That's all I'm really concerned with is how the secondary performs. They usually perform good in the preseason, so but it's a good opportunity for them to get that real game speed, get somebody else instead of their players, and let's see what they're working with. What about you, Will?
Oh man, I don't think we're going to learn a lot from the preseason personally. At least the first game. I think I'm on the fence in regards to. I mean, we had the most draft last year. We used those draft picks to go 95% defense. So I just want to see the young guys play, get reps. With maybe some of the starters, maybe not, but just getting the young guys in there, let them work up a sweat. I just want to come out healthy. I mean that's been the thing for our team. I think if we're healthy this year, we're going to make a run for it all. And that's been a telltale. Anytime we've come off a bad season, that was kind of funny. How coincidental it was. We would have usually because of injuries. The next year we go to the Super Bowl. We'll have a bad season. Next year we end up in the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game. So if we could come out healthy, I think we'll be okay. But as far as the preseason games themselves, I don't think we're going to just again watching the young guys play, see how well they can do the basic things. Everybody's going to play a vanilla defense, vanilla offense, and they're going to keep things really simple. But what you want to see is guys playing without thinking and not making a lot. You want to see special teams go out and execute well. Most of what a lot of teams do is those joint practices are the games.
Mm-hmm.
Those joint practices are where all the work is done. So, and we can't have cameras at them games, but a lot of coaches lean more on those joint practices to get 20 plays in on defense, 20 plays in on offense with the starters to see what they're looking like. And then they'll go into the preseason game, make sure those third string and second string guys are getting a lot of playing time so they can better evaluate the depth of the roster, not really looking at the starters too much.
Absolutely, man. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow night, man. Yeah, it feels like this has been a long time coming. I'm looking forward. I know we did not cover the Saints.
Oh no!
Because it ain't nothing to cover.
Oh no!
So we're gonna keep moving on.
Oh no!
Because listen, whatever. New Orleans is New Orleans. But nah, for real, my boy Will Kratos, he gave us a little snippet on his expectations for the Saints, and we'll be seeing that in a short coming up here pretty soon on our channel. So if you want any takes on the Saints or whatever, go to the channel and click on Will's video when he posted talking about the Saints and his expectation for the Saints. I already saw it. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So when you get a chance, go to the channel and check on it. Check them out. But around the league, man, there's a lot that was going on in all season. We didn't get to talk about, but what y'all think about Cam? I know we late to the party on this one, but just give me your take real quick. Give me your take on Cam and Jalen Hurts. Just real quick. What y'all think?
I think it's a lot of disrespect to Cam, man. A lot. I mean, this is a dude that's won at every level, and I like Hurts. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a great leader. All of that goodness, and I think when you start having to mention all that before you start talking about the way a player plays, tells you as much as you need to know. He is not Cam Newton. Cam, I seen people try to put up all these Pro Bowlers and all this other stuff. I mean, that man went out there with Kelvin Benjamin and Ted Ginn and Devin Funches and, Greg Olsen, who's a dog, but, and played with Christian McCaffrey for a long time, and he didn't. This man had, he had, Jonathan Stewart. I remember for a good period there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just, it was a lot going on. But Carolina was not. I mean, this man was picked number 1 overall for a reason. The defense was good. If anything, they were more of a defensive team, and Cam kind of took them to another level. People forget he had one of the best. He broke a record for the best rookie season in terms of passing the ball that we had ever seen. Cam won. He was truly one of one. I mean, when that dude got off the bus, you're looking at a dude 6'4", 250, 260.
Solid.
Doing stuff that we see now. Josh Allen.
Solid.
With an arm, physical, played through injuries, was tough, led by example, despite what people say. He was tough. He played, like I said, did everything you wanted a quarterback to do, and took that team that nobody expected to the Super Bowl. And took a tough. So Cam was that guy. And like I said, I look at Hurts and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. But man, you out there with A.J. Brown, a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, and Devonta Smith. You got the best offensive line in the league, defensive coordinator, and you also have an elite defense. I mean, we're talking about two different situations here.
Yeah, we are. I mean, no disrespect to Jalen. It is what it is. But Cam put a team on his back, literally. At every level, he put the team on his back. Like he said, can y'all name a player from Auburn on that championship team? I don't remember. I remember Cam Newton. I know. Yeah, I remember Cam.
That's it.
That's it. But
and he went undefeated.
Yeah, he did. And as a quarterback, I feel like he can speak on that topic. If that's how he rates them, that's just how he rates them. It is what it is. But speaking of quarterbacks, Shedeur starting Friday. Thursday.
No,
Fifth
Friday.
round draft pick.
It's Friday. They play Friday.
Yeah, Friday. 5th round draft pick that's been getting more press than all the other quarterbacks ahead of him. He's starting. He's starting, Telly. Put up a shutout.
My thing, I think I saw one of the talking heads talk about this yesterday or today about it, and they were talking about, is this a setup for him or is this a debut so they can trade him? You never know, and I just think the kid's been dealt the raw hand, but I will give him credit. He's handled like a professional. And he just go out there and do what he do. He practices, he working hard. He ain't asking for no handouts and none of that stuff. So I think once they stop the BS, man, and get a kid a fair shot, then I think he's gonna improve himself. If you look at the wannabe numbers that they put out, from camp, with the limited reps that he has, he looked like the best thing they got, which we already knew that anyway. But that Dylan Gabriel stuff was a hoax anyway. They should have never drafted that kid, in the 3rd round. So that's the disrespectful. But I hope he goes out in a meaningless game and look like a damn superstar, and some other team can somehow pry him away from them, and maybe he can get somewhere that need a quarterback. Maybe the Saints, because they damn sure ain't got one.
I think the Shedeur Sanders thing is definitely a double-edged sword. He's starting because their quarterbacks are hurt. I think obviously when the season starts, Joe Flacco, if bearing any injuries, I think Joe's going to start for him. I would like to say I don't think they want to trade Shedeur by any means at all. I mean, you can never have too many quarterbacks, especially ones that can actually play at this level. But I think if obviously the price is right and the team wants to in and take him, I mean, that's great. But I think they really want to keep Shedeur. I think ultimately they drafted Dylan Gabriel because they know that, as crazy as it may look, you can never have too many quarterbacks. I liken it to the RG3 Kirk Cousins draft. It looked weird because they took Cousins in the 3rd or the 4th or whatever it was, and they took RG3 1 overall, which is kind of interesting. But I think they still have affinity for the way Shedeur plays. I think anybody that knows ball likes the way Shedeur plays the game in the pocket. And I think they wanted him. I just think again they just wanted to make him suffer and make him sweat a little bit, and they did that. But I think I'm with Telly, man. I hope he goes out there, man. And far as everything that's been coming out, he's never took any reps with the ones. He's never took any practice rep with the ones so far in camp. So this is gonna be real interesting to see how he plays. And I'm intrigued. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in.
Absolutely. I know I'm gonna be watching. Telly said it's like a setup, whatever, but he ain't got no choice, man. Like the deck has already been stacked against you. So he kind of remind me of Adam Sandler in the Longest Yard. Remember when he was gambling and the team found out about it and
Yeah.
he had to get the first down on his own, they were letting his ass get ate up. He had to win that, the team back over, whatever. And it's like you said, Taylor, like he out here, he gotta perform. Because if he doesn't, they're gonna be like, I told you so. I told you so. He's a fifth rounder for real. Even though we know he's not
But
a
you,
fifth rounder. Compared to the draft class that he's in, he was not a fifth round talent. Because I said it before in season 1, put him on the Ole Miss team, we probably go to the Natty. We probably do. But
I, I,
Gabriel, what's up? Who's trying to
I
interrupt?
honestly think,
Well,
no, I'm sorry about that, but I honestly think, I think Shador is built for this, man. I really do. This is an ideal situation for him, and I'm with you, Mo. The deck was stacked against him from the time he was drafted, anyway. Anyway,
Yeah.
so this isn't anything new. I think this is all to be expected opportunity, and just listen to the players on the team, and for all of us that's playing ball, the players always know. Truthfully, the players always know. And looking at them camp numbers that they posted on Twitter, I mean, and listening to guys that play with him, I'm just gonna be hard pressed when they go out to put another guy on that depth chart in front of him. And even if it is Joe Flacco, and we're gonna respect that because it's Joe Flacco, but it seems like the players know. And so, politics and try to do it, what the players don't want to see, but the players want you to do it. The players want you to
Yeah.
do it.
The players
so
actually do. And then they brought in Tyler Huntley. They brought in another vet, like you said, Will account body. Go ahead, Rich.
that's crazy, man. For them to actually do that, but I'm inclined, to agree with Telly, for a couple of different reasons, man. Um, and this going back to something that Big Will said about, those combined practices that kind of show you what the team is actually going to be comprised of to a little bit, and they don't really show you everything during those actually joint practices. But I got a chance to see a little bit of it, and Joe Flacco looks like shit, flat out. He looks like shit, flat out.
He look old.
He looks old. He looks every bit of his age, man. So I think to a certain degree, man, when I saw the story first come out with, Shador Sanders going to be actually starting on Friday, I almost thought it to myself like, okay, maybe this is an interview for Shador, so to speak, because I think he's going to get out there and perform. But if he doesn't perform against those second and third stringers, like you guys said, that's the excuse for those guys to actually kind of justify where he got drafted at, even though I don't think that's indicative of what that kid actually brings to the actual table. I think the Cleveland Browns organization is trash for what they actually doing. And I think it's kind of a setup, man, because those rookies that we got, man, I'm looking for those guys to actually perform. And I think Shador's been kind of dealt a bad hand, man, in my opinion.
He absolutely has, man. Remember the owner came out last week. They put the mic in his face and he was like, I didn't want it. The GM, said that was his guy. I didn't want him. He literally said that. He literally said that about this guy. So imagine Shador balling out. He balling out. He ain't got to go get the money, but imagine him balling out. Come on. But I agree. It might be an opportunity for him to showcase his talents to be dealt elsewhere. But if he's dealt elsewhere, who does Cleveland got? Anyway, moving along. Micah Parsons, man. I hate talking about that star team, but Micah's that guy. So we won't talk about him because everybody know what's going on. Because I don't want to talk about that team. Terry McLaughlin.
Whew.
Terry McLaughlin. Does he deserve the money that he's asking for?
I personally think so, man. When you actually look at what he's done for the last 5 years and the chemistry that they have between himself and Jaden Daniels, I think he's actually worth it, man. Especially when you look at the market for some of the wide receivers out there. So I say pay that man, and eventually I think that's what's going to actually happen at the end of the day if Washington want to have any type of level of success. Fat ass Debo is not going to be wide receiver one going into the season. So pay that man.
Man, I think it's just noise. It's just noise, man. It's giving them something to talk about during the off season. Some you can't get that stupid.
I'm definitely on. I'm definitely on the fence with it. He's 31 years old, first of all. But I do believe they deserve to pay him now. What that number looks like and what he's asking for at 31 years old, and if he's trying to be in the upper echelon, we're talking about with guys like CD Lamb and all those guys. I don't think he's asking. I would like to think he's not asking for that, but I know NFL players think too. He think he's a dog. He's looking at the season he had last year. He's at the table with them numbers. But they have to re-sign this kid, man. In order for they're not doing any favors to Jaden Daniels. This will be some true Dan Snyder type crap by them not trying to extend him another 2 years and try to get something done there. I'm definitely at the 2 years, $50 million. Some guaranteed money, maybe 30. But I don't think you could give him like a 4-year deal at his age. But they have to get this kid, get him going, get him in camp, get him signed. But this all across the league, the three players, Parsons and Hendrickson and McLaurin, this is a mess. This is a mess. And they, what they rate.
It's camp news. It's off season talk to get a talking head, something to discuss
Mm-hmm.
because they have nothing else to talk about. Like you said, Will, Jaden needs McLaughlin. He needs him because when I say sophomore slump, people don't realize sophomore slump doesn't mean like okay, the quarterback's gonna have a bad year. A lot of factors go into sophomore slump. Look at C.J. Stroud. They call that a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Boy had extra numbers, but they fell off as a team. That's a sophomore slump. Nobody expect. Well, Will, you did say Jaden was gonna ball. I give you that. You did say Jaden Daniels was gonna ball. I remember the episode. But the rest of us didn't expect that to happen. Did not expect that to happen at all. So now there's film out on him. So sophomore slump comes all in encompassed with your team being in a position to win and the pieces around you that helps you go to that next level. And if you take him out the equation, like Rich said, Debo he a running back or a wide receiver with them. They got Kingsbury as the OC, so I know he's gonna be getting a lot of balls handed to him instead of thrown to him. We already know this is gonna happen. Why
Or
would you change
Debo,
that?
or
Why
Debo
would
may
you change
become
it
the
up?
shortest tight end in NFL history.
Hey, that boy getting in shape, man. Debo always
I
show up like that
honestly
at
think
camp.
I honestly think what people fail to realize why Cliff Kingsbury lost his job is he runs a college style system. It's easy to once you get it and get a hold of it defensively, it's easy to and I think what makes this going to make it unique is Jaden Daniels' unique skill set as a player is what they're counting on to elevate this offense. But I think what people fail to realize with Cliff is, I mean, a difficult deep offense to scheme against once you understand it. I think it caught a lot of teams by surprise last year because Jaden made a lot of magic happen when a lot of things wasn't there. But if you look at the games where he was throwing Hail Marys, I mean, you look at the Chicago game like that. I mean, they could have very well had 4 losses, if it wasn't for some luck. And everybody needs a little luck, but if they're expecting that this year with the type of schedule that they're looking at this year, they trouble.
Definitely in trouble. And like you said, McLaughlin's getting old, man. Like it ain't too many that's doing it at a high level, once they get up in age. And speaking of age, there's an A-Rod sighting with the Steelers. They say he looking good in camp. I don't know who he throwing to. DK only got one route. So
Go.
I mean, we'll see. DK got one route, and that is it. So, what they say, he's slinging that thing in camp, man. Pittsburgh is gonna be interesting. They picking them to do a lot, man. That was be funny to me. You, they're gonna finish third in their division if everything pans out. So how explain this to me? How? And they might lose. Well, they jockeying for third and fourth position in their division. If we tell them the truth, they're third and fourth place. So is there an avenue for Pittsburgh to get in the playoffs as a wild card? How many games they got to win? That's what I'm looking at. Like what formula gets them in the playoffs?
That's a good question, man. The only thing I've actually seen for Pittsburgh and care to actually look at was a rookie running back, Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. He looks pretty solid, man. I can care less about Ron, with his drama and stuff like that. But Caleb Johnson actually looks pretty good, man. But I don't know what Pittsburgh actually needs to do to be able to compete and get to the playoff. I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, I don't know how everybody's saying that because you really don't have much on the offensive side of the ball. The defense, I mean, you have some players, you have some pieces there, but that alone is not going to win you enough games to make that playoff in a tough division. So I don't think they're making the playoffs at all. And I think this is Mike Tomlin's last year in Pittsburgh. So Telly, you guys may have a new coach in Atlanta.
Oh no, because by week 1 is 5 bowls. So Tomlin coming back to Tampa.
Or Tampa Bay.
Coming back to Tampa. He's coming back to
Yeah,
Tampa.
I honestly,
He stuck up quick, then. Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
yeah, like I honestly think, I think they could sneak in. A-Rod is an improvement, respectively. I'm not fond of him. Improvement. The roster has gotten better. I didn't like the Minka Fitzpatrick thing too much. I didn't really get that. I thought that was kind of, that didn't really move the needle. That didn't help to me. Cleveland's terrible. Cincinnati's probably the worst ran organization in the league right now, and that's crazy to say considering that Cleveland's pretty bad. I have no clue what Cincinnati's doing. They're not helping Burrow. They're not helping their offense. They were already the worst defense in the league last year to watch. I mean, not bringing back Trey Hendrickson, and obviously they started slow with getting Shamar Stewart and finally under contract and giving him the deal that they ended up. He was a fully guaranteed contract. I just think they can make it in because I think they can beat Cincinnati, and I think they can beat the Browns. And if they can split somehow with Baltimore, Pittsburgh always seems to do. They could sneak in with 9 or 10 wins.
so 10 wins gets you in the AFC. Okay.
In AFC North.
We shall see, but that's a wrap, fellas. Like, thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, follow us, and tune in next week. Well, not next week, but tune in to our next episode when we got more to talk about. As training camp dwindles down and the 53-man roster is formed, and we ready to jump into week 1 of the regular season. But we already know what it is. Week 1, we already know. I know. I hope y'all know. But that's it. Thank y'all for stopping by. We out.